Welcome to Coreum Concepts. It's my great pleasure to have my first repeat guest interview on the channel here. Pleased to announce he's recently become a partner in the Coreum Community DAO, and I didn't really ask him, but he is by default definitely become my host on the Superledger podcast that we do every Sunday. So really appreciate him for that. But yeah, we're going to introduce Artikyoul8 here again. I've done one video previously. It was a great view. I encourage you to check that out on my YouTube channel. I'll post a link in the video. I just thought we'd catch up. Got a lot going on. Since we last met, you ventured into OmniFlix space there, and you're doing some amazing things there. Spent my new year listening to a great new song from you, thanks to what you're doing there. So I'm excited to learn more about that and share with the community. Check it out. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me, Chris. I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be on board at the Coreum Community DAO and also on the Superledger podcast. The growth is just so exponential, and I couldn't ask for more. Thank you.
Right on, right on. Well, we got a lot to talk about. We'll probably save a lot of that for another day, but I just really want to have if we can try and do it in my style of a short video, by my terms, might be still a little long for some others, but just to touch base, see what's going on. It's been a bit, maybe go back and tell us about your story and how you got to Web3, putting music onto OmniFlix.
Yeah, so as a recording artist, I've been doing music for, I would say, well over 30 years. And I've been, from the very start, a curious mind, in terms of tech and what is coming out and how it applies to life and society, and like, even up to until getting the newest like type of phones to see what they do. So I've always like been curious with the tech world, and as a musician, it was kind of difficult to kind of balance between both worlds, seeing that blockchain was coming out and finding the time to still record and do like performances and travel and stuff, and also do deep research and find out, what's going on with blockchain and what I could build with it. So I eventually, took some time off from, actively recording and performing and stuff, just to do, a lot of research and building and networking in the Web3 world. And that took a serious turn. I would say maybe about 5 to 6 years ago, when found some good projects and see what they were building, and then it led me to the stages of like NFT NYC and that whole arena, and to where we are right now with Coreum. So yeah, just a brief synopsis.
Nice. And as you mentioned there, you've been on NFT NYC in the past, and if I remember right, you're making another appearance this year in at that event also.
Yes, in April.
Nice, nice. You're definitely a powerful thought leader in the community. So you're not just here for your music for sure. You provide a lot of great content and information. You're really ahead of the game on a lot of things and tearing it up on X there, and a lot going on. So tell us about OmniFlix. How did you get set? What did you set up there on OmniFlix?
Yes, so with OmniFlix, let me backtrack a little, as I ended that last sentence. Being on in the Quorum community, came across great minds like yourself. And, you were running the Validator Quorum Community DAO, building on, in the blockchain space. And, OmniFlix was one of the validators as well. And I know you, first ventured out there from my network, and you were telling us about the fact that there is something going on there, and we should be paying attention. And I remember clearly, and you were saying that as a musician it would only make sense. So I did a little digging myself, and I found it to be something that it fit what I was looking for, because as I said, I stopped doing music to balance what I was doing in Web3, but then I knew there was going to be a time when I had to merge both worlds, and what that looked like I didn't see it as yet. And when I saw Omniflix, I was like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. So they had the perfect they have the perfect setup for anybody that's doing anything Web3, building a community, dropping NFTs, dropping music, and it's so the friction, it's so frictionless. Like there is no real like hiccups with regards to the experience. It's very smooth. I found it to be something that helped me enhance what I'm doing as a musician as well, because now I'm putting out NFTs and interactive videos. I found that people in the Web3 space adapt quickly to it. So rather than trying to pitch my music NFT to a music world right away, I found that I was pitching my music NFTs to a Web3 world, and they were appreciating my music a whole lot. So as the technology, as I see it spread and become more widely adopted, I think it's just going to be an easier, threshold to get over for the normal person to interact with my music on the blockchain.
Well, and that's a great
And-
thing about music.
yeah,
Everybody, everybody feels
yeah,
the beat. So it doesn't matter, if it's a blockchain community or, a larger community, smaller community. Everybody resonates with music. There's no doubt about it. And
yes,
you have a great vibe about your music. That's what attracted me to what you're putting out. And I also, have some content up on Omniflix TV there. I use it, for video content, and I'm excited
yes.
about the decentralized nature that it offers me in the not too distant future. I really see myself migrating more over there as more of their tools become available here soon.
Yes. And just to also touch on the fact that I've dropped, this is my second collection I'm dropping now in terms of NFTs, music NFTs. I have dropped a few interactive videos, but I've found the process to be frictionless. The first one was Howdy Neighbor, and that did fairly well. I still have a few copies, up for sale right now. And then what I did to reward those early supporters who got the Howdy Neighbor NFTs, I did a campaign to give a free claim to my new single, which is I'm Sure. And I'm Sure is a song that is not out on any like streaming platforms. It's exclusive to Omniflix at this moment. So the people who have that song right now have something that no one else has a real access to unless they come to Omniflix. And speaking of that, I just did this today. So the campaign I was running ends at midnight tonight, and maybe when people see it, it will be well past then. But I activated a few more copies for purchase, so you could get, I'm sure, for 30 Flix tokens right now in the collection section on the OmniFlix marketplace. So I have that, so people who weren't able to capitalize or tap into that time frame could still get copies of the I'm sure single.
Nice, nice. Well, I have a few copies myself. I know you've shared a few with me to give out to the community, and I've done that, and it's been very well received. Very well received.
Yes.
The Not just the music, the product too, the experience of actually getting that NFT, utilizing that campaign function really got me excited. I don't. I'm in a different boat. I don't have NFTs, to
Yeah.
distribute. I just create a video that's an NFT to put on my channel. So I can't really take advantage of the campaign feature just yet. I certainly plan to. It just gave me a whole bunch of new ideas on how to utilize OmniFlix for my channel and what I'm doing here. Because the thing that excited me most about is the interactive video. I think that's going to be
Yes.
a key technology in the not too different future. And as far as how it relates to our Coreum community, with governance. I think it's going to be a
Yes.
powerful tool to just have governance discussions to get a feel on how, what the community feels on certain things. Like it's been pretty easy rolling so far in this new blockchain. Hasn't been too many tough decisions to make, but those will come. And
Yes.
education is going to be a huge component of that. And I think tools like OmniFlix and other projects that are building on Corium are going to play a key role in getting that education out there.
Yeah, and for me, I just want to say that just the experience from the team at Omniflix, I haven't found anywhere else in Web3. The support they give, just checking in on you, making sure you're good. I find that it pushes you. It's motivational. It makes you want to stay on top of your game, and the fact that on their roadmap for this year, their goal is to become that interchain media hub. That is a huge goal.
Hmm.
And I believe that, I could put the word exclusive to that and say exclusive interchain media hub, for, the Cosmos to begin with. But I see it as a more broader Web3 experience that they could take a whole, big chunk of market share right now based upon the fact that they're primed and they're ready to go. They have everything smoothed out. I know they have certain things they're going to be rolling out in terms of new technologies with interchain NFTs and stuff. But I think that they're primed. They're at a place right now ready for takeoff, and I'm blessed to be a part of this experience. And just to see that they reached a milestone recently, having 100 Flix Talks sessions on X, and that's what 50 a year. And as they grow, I know that they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with, because every especially with the Cosmos right now, every net protocol that is some a protocol of significance is gravitating towards using Omniflix, even as an educational piece to what they're doing. So I see them as that hub. And and thank you again, Chris, for getting me on there and giving me that nudge.
Well, that you made mention of it. Those X spaces that they have, the Flix talks every week, powerful, powerful
Yes,
spaces. Like,
yes,
I brought you over there soon after me finding it, and I only reached out because I seen they had a validator on the Coreum network, and that had me curious. And the connections and the caliber of people that I've met just in that space alone. And some of
yes,
them have come over to the Coreum network here looking around. Like, you got Chris from Fight Farms, Flix Bets there. He's very active in our Discord, uh, contributing great information on IBC. Such, so he has so much experience on that side of it. So very valuable information to be gained from those OmniFlix spaces for sure. And and I know you've seen that with me. I've seen
yes.
potential collaborations get discussed and made right in those spaces with you. So
Live
so
on
it's
air, yeah.
powerful to see. And so, what would you say to a new, say somebody that doesn't have Web3 experience, but is an artist, an up and coming artist even, so fairly new, no network. Would that be a place to start for them potentially, or?
Yeah, I would say that's the perfect place to start, because it rather I've used other NFT minting platforms like like OpenSea, and others. And there's one, a lot of cost involved, and two, a lot of learning involved in just how to navigate and find your way around and learn terminologies and figure it out. But with Omniflix, they've made it so easy. The buttons are so like understandable. The layout is just so perfect that even if you have no knowledge of Web3 per se, if you know how to use a computer, you'll know how to figure your way around the platform and get to where you need to. So I give them hats off for that. And I think that Omniflix is the great is a great launch pad for someone who's new, looking to put content out in the Web3 space. And you just, if you don't even think about it, you won't even know you're on a blockchain, because as I said, it's set up in a way where it's still Web2 friendly to people who are not Web3 native as yet. And I've found it to be very simple. And these were my first set of music NFTs. These are my first NFTs, so I, as a first NFT minter, found it to be something of value and of ease of use.
Nice. And so, the song you just released, I'm sure.
Yes.
Tell us what went into that song. I find it a great song. Sonia and I, we climbed a pretty good hill there New Year's Day. We got to the top, and that was our song. We played up there for you, and I sent you a little video clip of that because it was a pretty special moment, and a perfect way to bring in the new year with that song. So tell us how you got to that.
Yeah. So I'm sure, believe it or not, I recorded that song maybe 2 years ago. As you heard me in the lyrics talk about lockdowns and COVID. and stuff like that, that was still relevant at the time when I was writing it. And even though we're still hearing, pop-ups here and there about outbreaks of certain things, and we may go into future lockdowns and stuff, I think it will still resonate with a lot of people. One, who were alive during this time, but two, who will be alive during, future lockdowns if that's the case. But the I'm sure resolution for me was just writing affirmations, seeing that, you know, we as humans tend to sometimes make New Year's resolutions, and sometimes they just don't work out. Sometimes we write a list of things and we don't even get to half of them. And it was just me getting to a point where it's like, rather than trying to say, okay, I'm going to try to achieve this, why not me be more certain about it? And what's more certain than being sure? And at the time when I wrote it, I had a song that was in heavy rotation. It was a song off my EP called Pretty Penny, and it was getting traction on maybe 12 stations nationwide in the US, national radio stations. And when I wrote that song, I was, thinking of, as you hear me start, so many open doors. It's hard to ignore. Every year was my year, but this year I'm sure. So it's like me seeing the possibility, view, experiencing the traction and stuff, the adaptation of my music. I saw that this future for me was going to be more brighter than not. So it's like me embracing what's coming. And I didn't release it immediately because I don't think it was the time as yet. I didn't think that the time, I didn't feel the urge. I still have music that I recorded, a few years ago as well, that I still have, to be released. But I saw what was happening with what's going on in the Web3 space where I'm at right now. And I saw that as the perfect set of words, the perfect set of affirmations that synchronize with my life today. And being a part of the Coreum community DAO and what we're building, it just brought me right back to that song. And I'm like, yes, this is my next release. And it rhymes with 2024. I'm sure Coreum. It's like everything came together, and seeing, not going to say too much right now, but everything we're about to announce and that's coming, it's a further affirmation of what that song is. And I can say that I wrote it futuristically for this time. you
That's
know
amazing.
so that's how it feels.
That's amazing. And, it totally resonates with me. It's the same thing, like you were saying. I started this channel a year ago. I was already well interested in Coreum by then, of course, but just started this channel a year ago, and it's absolutely exploded. Obviously, starting a channel, you're setting some goals, right? What
Yes.
am I doing this for? What do I expect to see from this? And it totally exceeded my expectations, like by far. I was expecting just to be sharing some content here every day, but it's been so much more than that. I met so many great people and partners such as yourself and Scott and Marco and so many others along the way, and so many bright minds and ideas that have been shared, and then just recent partnerships and what we know is coming down the road in the weeks,
Yes.
months ahead. It's been absolutely amazing. So it just goes to show that you can set good goals. Like I had high expectations for this channel. Obviously, that's why I was putting my energy into it,
Yes.
they'll be exceeded. So it's important to set some goals for sure. So that's why it resonates with me. That's why it
Yes.
found its way into my New Year's Day. We're on a about a 4 hour hike up there, and you have lots of time to reflect on the past year and look forward to the year ahead. And yeah, when I got to the top, I mean, like I knew exactly. I'm like, I got to play that song because it's just what came to my head as we came over,
Yes.
and I shared the view that we had with you, and it was just an amazing time. And like you said, it was to me like you wrote that for me. As I walked up there, that's what it felt for me when I was listening it there. So
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to get together today and talk more about it because I really love it.
And I must say, like, even looking at the video and hearing the song, immediately I thought that was the start of the music video, for that song, because it gives that mountaintop feel. It feels like, you've arrived at a place, not just physically, mentally, and spiritually, where you're like out of the weeds of uncertainty and doubt and other things that have probably held us back for years and decades. But we're at a place right now where we're charting our future, charting our course, and writing it and speaking it into existence. So that's how I felt looking at that video. And it even gave me, a feeling of like, yes, I'm happy. And the response, trust me, the response I've been getting from the community itself, people are like, I have this song on repeat. People are like, we have great Web3 investors who are also musically talented, and it's great to have them in the community. And hearing and experiencing and feeling that of something that I put together, maybe 2 3 years ago, lets me know that I'm on the right path energetically as well. Because for me to do that in the past and then in the present have that effect on people, giving inspiring them, giving them hope, giving them like a sense of like, yes, accomplishment, that tells me that there's power in what I'm doing right now musically as well. And it encourages me to, when I start recording actively again, that it gives me that push and that boost of like, I do have something within what I'm doing musically that has the potential to change lives, and I do not take that lightly. So I do intend to use that responsibly, as I've been doing. And I'm just grateful for the community that I'm now a part of in Coreum and what we are building. And as I do new music, I know that lives will be touched and changed and inspired. And just what we're forming and building right now, I just couldn't ask for more.
That's awesome. Couldn't agree more. I don't know. Should we introduce the song, or how do we get to this? The floor is yours. We're welcome to talk about anything you want. Everybody can join us every Sunday to talk about anything they want at the Superledger podcast on X Spaces. I did this for you to get this song out there. Uh, Floor is yours.
Yeah, so well, what I'll do is I'll just introduce the song. So, pretty much, I'm sure it's out now. It's on Omniflix exclusively right now. You can get your copies. I put an additional 25 copies up for sale, 30 Flix tokens. And that song is for anyone who is um, looking to be resolute about their life, who is looking to be, affirmed and encouraged in what they're building and doing. And I want to put forth a mindset into this space, because I know we do have some toxic presence in experiences sometime on the daily in this space. But I do want us to get to a point where we do see what we have in our palms right now in terms of the tech and the future financial system, and being good stewards of that. I want to build a mindset of people who are forward thinking and people who are achievers. So this song is for you. If you're building in Web3 right now, if you like music, this, especially if you're in the Coreum community, I'm going to be biased a little bit, but this one is for you. I'm sure. I hope you are sure. We're sure with what we're doing here at Coreum Community DAO, Coreum Concepts, and CAF, a Lunar Space partnership. So this is just for you out there right now. As if you can hear this song, this is for you. And I hope that you'll be able to get a copy. It's an exclusive drop. And I know people are gonna resell it and trade it and stuff like that. But I want this message to go around. I want it to vibrate throughout the Web3 space, and get some more people on the same frequency. And thank you, Chris, for having me today. And it was a great experience. It was my pleasure, my honor to be here. And let's be sure going into 2024. on this day 4,
Nice.
um, building a network on Core.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. We're going to leave with you singing us out. It's a great song. And I really appreciate you being here and contributing not just to my heart and soul, playing beautiful music, but everything you're doing, Coreum Community DAO, the Superledger podcast, for our community as a whole. Powerful speaker. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, and I look forward to everything we're about to do here. So with that, we're going to just play this song on the way out. I'll drop the links in the description of the video for your collections on OmniFlix. Thank you for joining me again. Peace and prosperity to you and to everybody out there.
Thank you, Chris.
Artikyoul8. Sure. Artikyoul8. Yeah. Liberal. Studio. Dream. Check it. So many open doors. It's hard to ignore. Every year was my year, but this year I'm sure. They're on a virtual tour. Gal them a bubble to the floor. Every year was my year, but this year I'm sure. The storm is here, but it won't stay. Where there is a will, there must be a way. Me have to win, come what may. Class my hands every day, I pray. Nah, I can lose cause me not confused. Every time positivity me choose. So many open doors, it's hard to ignore. Every year was my year, but this year I'm sure. They're on a virtual tour. Gal them a bubble to the floor. Every year was my year, but this year I'm sure. Lyrics are pour from me heart. Tunes for you climb up the chart. Destiny create me path. Remain humble, don't exalt. Lockdown life rough. We can't do too much. Wait till COVID up. A big dance we a bus. Make sure you prepare yourself.